Welcome! I'm Arseni, and I am the People's Chef. Join me for some easy, healthy cooking. I'm going to show you how to prepare a simple and fun appetizer for your guests. The beer spread is tasty and fun to serve. Now, let's get started. This is a good dish for the weekend game. All you really need is a blender, which I have here, or a food processor. You want to start off with some cheese. No, not your cheese sticks that you've had sitting at home for about a week in your fridge, but actual cheese. Go to the local cheese shop or the local grocery store, whichever happens to be closer, and they'll probably have a cheese department where you can, pick the brain of a cheese Mongol. Usually, a couple of things you want to ask, how old is the cheese? On average, usually, cheese that's sold at the grocery store is usually about 12 to 24 months. If you want a little bit something more gourmet, they go up to as high as 10 years. So, but you really have to ask yourself, who are you serving it to? Are these going to be your foodie friends, or are they just going to be your regular friends that you see 2 or 3 times a week? So to start off with, get your cheese, throw it in the blender. Now, you don't want to use too much, but you want to have enough for flavor. And then you want to make sure to have enough, so you probably want to make if you're making about 2 to 3 batches, depending on how many friends you have that are coming over to your house, you probably want to make a little bit more than I'm making right now, just to show you guys. So you want to put in your cream cheese. You can soften it up a little bit in the microwave, although usually I don't like to, but it does make it a little bit more liquid. Add in your olive oil. You want to add in about maybe a half a cup, a little bit more, a little bit less, give or take, depending on the amount of ingredients you have sitting in the blender. Now you want to add in just a tad bit of Worcestershire sauce. Don't add too much because, as soon as you add it in, you can't really take it out. So add in a little bit at a time, and as you're blending it, we'll add more in for flavor. Now, a little bit about salt and pepper. I usually like salt, and I love pepper. But you have to consider, regarding your guests, are they going to be somebody who's going to like salt? Usually it also depends what kind of crackers you have. If you have salty crackers, then you probably want to use a little bit less salt than you usually normally would. So I just like to add just a tad bit and add in a little bit of ground pepper. Now you don't want to get the pre-grounded pepper because you want it to be in its wholeness. So as you're grinding it, it's really fresh. Now you want to give it a little spin. Now as it's spinning, the more liquid you have, the better it's going to be. So scrape the sides just a little bit, just so it has enough liquid ingredient to blend. So mix it just a little bit. So one of the ingredients that you're going to add is obviously beer. So add in just a tad bit at a time, and mix it with the spatula just a little bit more, just so there's enough, again, liquid ingredient for it to mix. Right now it should probably spin right now. Yeah. So as it starts to crush, just keep in mind, to taste it. So as you're tasting it, mix it just a little bit with the spoon. You don't want to taste too much, just taste a little bit, just to see what the consistency is like. Is there enough salt, and is there enough pepper, is there enough Worcestershire sauce, and obviously if there's enough beer. Could probably use a little bit more beer. Now one of the things that I forgot to touch upon is obviously what kind of beer you're going to be using in this. Yeah, it's starting to mix. Depending on the beer that you have, so if you have, if you're serving Heineken or a Blue Moon, you probably want to mix it in with the ingredients. So as it's starting to mix, it should be good to go. Now you could, if your friends love butter, you can use more butter than olive oil, but I like to be on the healthier side, so I obviously use olive oil. You want to use extra virgin olive oil because it doesn't have it won't offset the flavor, so you don't want to use any infused oils in this. I mean, unless your guests really love garlic oils or, a sharper oil, you're more than welcome to use that. Now, to put this in, we have a little container here. So, now you probably want to make 3 or 4 batches of this and keep the other ones in the fridge. So, here I'm going to try it. One of the things you want to do is obviously try the product that you're going to be serving. So, I'm going to take a little bit of bite. It's really, really good. Now, if it's a little liquidy like it is right now, you can add in a little bit more olive oil or add in a little bit more cheese, obviously, just for consistency. And once it sits, things will harden up just a little bit. So if you keep it in the fridge, you'll get better with time. Thank you for joining me. If you have any other recipes you'd like to see on my show, please email me at arseni@tpchef.tv. The complete recipe is posted on my website, where it can be found at www.tpchef.tv. Please send any recipes you would like to see on our show. Join us for future episodes, and thank you for watching The People's Chef TV. Eat well and be well. I'm Arseni.